We're in the final hours of the Fatal Fury City of the Wolves online open beta, so I think I've played enough of this over the weekend that I can give you some first impressions on the game. I just completed my first build of a wireless fight stick, essentially transforming the Mayflash F700X into an F700X Elite Quiet Edition. I shot video along the way, so I'll be getting to that later this week. But by and large, I am a Fatal Fury noob. I thought I would catch up on the lore by checking out the anime. You can see my video on that. But I'm sure you're aware that this is the first entry in the Fatal Fury franchise since Garou Mark of the Wolves in 1999. And my, how things have changed. These games almost don't even look like they're the same species. City of the Wolves has remarkable graphics using Unreal Engine 4, more on that in a sec. You don't have just simply cel-shaded 3D characters here, you even have their shadows defined by lines. This is a gorgeous looking game with beautiful characters. Nobody has ever looked better than in this title. And I think this is going to be one of those games where you do the Western developers do this, but look over there at the East, they make the girls look pretty. Now, why are we using Unreal Engine 4 in 2025? That would be so that we can support the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. This game features cross-platform play, and they want to get as many consoles on as they can. That means last gen is welcome, though this might rule out higher-end features like high dynamic range and high frame rates. The menu system has been mocked as looking like it came from Microsoft Excel, and though it's simple, it's not all that intuitive at first glance. You kind of have to pick a quadrant and then choose the options you want. In trying to play with a friend, it was like pulling teeth, trying to figure out how to swap characters or even finding a room together. But once we got going, we had a couple hours of solid 65-ish millisecond ping. I spoke with him on the phone from his PlayStation 4 and I was on my Xbox Series X. We really didn't seem to be out of sync in any regard. As for the fighting in our fighting game, you have this SPG system where you try to choose where in your health bar you want to be able to use your rev blows and your hidden gears, which are like your ultimate supers, and it's kind of complicated how special moves work in this title. And I think that might affect the noobs. Like, oh, I want to position this bar so that when I'm about to lose, I can drop my hidden gear. Okay. You also have dodge attacks, which are very cool and reminiscent of Street Fighter 6's Drive Impact, sort of a combo buster. But I don't really understand all of it. In Street Fighter 6, you're going to be fatigued from spamming away Drive Impact. In this game, your dodge attack you can kind of just do at will, but you have other ways to overheat, and then you're vulnerable. Like, okay, so they gave you a tutorial where you play as Rock, and it describes some things. It's a lot to process, but you can't just hop in with any character and learn all of their combos. There isn't a training mode in the beta. Now everybody's assuming that means there won't be a training mode in the proper full release. I highly doubt that. Now, yes, many fighting games in the 90s didn't have a training mode, but training modes have been ubiquitous for a couple of decades. So players have had to hunt for their own combos, showing them over on X. I've gotten some pretty good work out of Preacha so far. I have one perfect victory. I'm pretty much undefeated with her. You know, she's just that typical nerdy Muay Thai expert. B. Jeanette seems very popular. Came across a lot of people playing her, and if I'm not mistaken here, did they like up the ante on her bust? Is she like outshining Mai now? I'd like to see a larger variety of the pre-fight taunts and the victory poses. I have no idea if you can select a preference for those beyond skip. But if you're enjoying the online gameplay of Street Fighter 6, I think you'll like City of the Wolves also. The fighting is similar. And strangely enough, despite being, I think, the more niche game, City of the Wolves might actually be more noob-friendly. You just don't feel like you're as easily punished in this game. And like Street Fighter 6, there is a simplified control scheme That differs some from Street Fighter 6. You do have an auto combo, but it's even more simplified and doesn't cap off with a super art. And for the moment, there doesn't seem to be a punishment for those with these simple controls. You deal just as much damage as those playing on arcade who have to do full inputs to perform a special. Of course, this is being met by protest. I'm sure they will cave. Alright, fine, if you're on simple controls, you only do 80% of the damage, just like Street Fighter 6. Essentially serving the noobs up to the wolves. Set to launch in late April, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves is priced at $60, and that includes a Season 1 DLC pass. But you know what, if you're going to make a game that's available on the PlayStation 4, maybe you shouldn't have that next-gen pricing after all. Now, while that does seem like a relative value in the fighting game space today, is there anybody in the States that is really playing this title? Because when I was playing online, I'm getting like 200 ping, I'm probably playing Asia. I don't think most gamers know these characters, and it's not culturally relevant. It's assuredly not going to have the Final Fight style roaming open world beat 'em up aspect that makes for a long campaign in Street Fighter 6. So what is the replayability in a game where there's a few dozen people who are total badasses dominating it and you're just a noob getting served up? It's difficult to judge a game for how one thinks the community might exploit it in the future. So these are questions left on the table. It was quite ballsy having an online open beta that's cross-platform for a rather dormant series. Did you try the City of the Wolves open beta, and if so, did it encourage you to pre-order, or did it have you cancel your pre-order? Let me know in the comments below.
Pretty good imitation, but copying my looks alone won't cut it. Without grace, power has nowhere to go.
So we're at the part of the video where I have to beg you to hit the subscribe button and ring that bell, because subscribe doesn't really account to anything other than YouTube might someday send me a plaque.